Hey, I'm Rob Gantt with the Goose Gazette and the Berkeley Independent. I'm sitting here today at Coastal Coffee Roasters in Summerville with Summerville Journal Scene sports guru Roger Lee. We're going to talk a little bit of football from Week 0 and Week 1. I speak for a lot of people when I say it certainly was good to see football season come back on Friday. How you feel about it?
Yeah, it was nice to get back out on the gridiron, see the guys go at it. For a little bit cooler weather, it'd be a little bit better, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we'll go ahead and jump right into our Week 0 game of the week. It was Cane Bay at Ashley Ridge. I told everybody that the Cobras were for real. They went out there, they scored a 40-29 victory. Roger, you were there. Just give us a quick analysis of what you thought about Cane Bay and Ashley Ridge game.
Well, Cane Bay's been on the uprise for some time, and until you see them, you forget how good that rushing attack of theirs is. I mean, the thing that impressed me was their running backs were so patient when they ran up the middle. It was almost like in slow motion. They let their linemen make the holes for them, got those tough yards, but then also they could pop it outside real quick and just got that tremendous speed. And that was the difference in the game. I mean, Ashley Ridge just had trouble stopping those rushers.
Yeah. Real quick, we'll mention Chris Copeland was a tremendous performance for the Cobras. R.J. Roderick, the quarterback. What about Damon DeFord, the fullback, dropping back, throwing up a prayer? Comes down T.J. Johnson. They score a big touchdown in the fourth quarter. So big play for those guys there. Going through some other scores on my side of the fence in Week 0, Hanahan scored a 47-13 victory over May River. Victor Colbert, the quarterback for the Hawks, had a big game. He threw 2 touchdown passes. Jerry Bailey, a running back, ran for 2 passes. Other games, Berkeley High School went up to Daniel, didn't come back victorious. They lost 33-21. Cross defeated Burke 46-14. St. John's Christian defeated Buford Academy. Great game from Cavaliers quarterback Mikey Smith. He did his best Deshaun Watson impersonation, accounting for 6 touchdowns for the Cavs. One more game, Timberland went up to North Myrtle Beach, didn't come back victorious. They lost 28-13, but they did put up a good fight. They fixed some turnovers. I think Timberland will get it figured out this week. What happened on your side of the fence?
Well, we've already mentioned Ashley Ridge, and that was a good performance from Ashley Ridge against Cane Bay. Just 1 or 2 plays away, they could have won that game. Didn't, had some guys do well, but it was a tight game, and then Cane Bay pulled away at the end. Other action, Fort Dorchester went to Statesboro, Georgia, played Sandy Creek. That was another shootout. I know, it's amazing. DeCarrion Joyner, 444 passing yards. His 2 main targets were Raekwon Simmons and the Colleton County transfer Justin Williams. And they were just fantastic. They just couldn't stop them. Sandy Creek has a good rushing attack, and they certainly scored their points. But the Fort defense, some of those guys, their linebackers are real tight. They got some big guys up front, and they buckled down in the end to get that win for Fort Dorchester. Somerville went to Spartanburg, another close game. Unfortunately, Somerville had 4 fumbles, 2 right on the goal line, and that's pretty much the difference in that game. I forget the final score if I was going to write that down, and I didn't, but I think it was like 28-21 or something like that.
It was a competitive game, and Somerville had a chance to win if they didn't fumble, for sure.
Right. The standout for Somerville in that game was the basketball player, Shaq Davis. Tall receiver. This is his first year with the varsity squad, and he had well over 100 receiving yards, had an 80-yard touchdown pass at the end of the game. Just wasn't enough to get him past a good Spartanburg team.
All right, what else happened? What you got coming up this week?
Well, don't want to leave out Pinewood Prep.
Okay.
They opened their season at home against the new team. Not Oceanside, not Coastal, as I had mentioned last week. I'm going to get those guys mad at me. Oceanside is the new Mount Pleasant school.
Right.
Charter school. I didn't realize that until this week. That was a one-sided win, but it's a new program. Right. Also, Pinewood, they did real well. Matthew Latham, running back, kind of led the charge. And I think they had a couple of interceptions on the defensive side, so that was a good start for Pinewood Prep.
All right. Well, we'll switch gears to Week 1. We'll quickly go through this. On my side of the fence in Berkeley County, a couple of the biggest games are Timberland hosting Woodland. They're trying not to call it Craig Bowl 1 because Coach Art Craig for Timberland, his son Cody Craig, who played at Timberland, is one of the guys calling the shots at Woodland High School. So that's intriguing. Another big game next week in Berkeley County is the Berkeley Stags, and their home opener hosts the Stratford Knights. The Knights will unveil their new offense led by former Summerville quarterback Hunter Taylor. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Their goal is to try to run as many plays as they possibly can. One more big game. Obviously, we talked about the Cobras earlier. Goose Creek at Cane Bay. That is definitely a game not to miss. If you're neutral and you want to go see somebody play, that should be a battle that should come down to the end. I could very easily see that one, being a game that is decided in the last few seconds. Real quick, Hanahan is at Andrews, and Cross gets to chill out this week. They're off, and St. John's Christian will host Charleston Collegiate. And that's what I got going on my side of the fence. How about you?
Well, on my side, we also have a team that's got a bye. Summerville has a week off. Hopefully they'll, work on some things and get back to action against Berkeley coming up that next week. We've got Fort Dorchester is going to Colleton County. So, that'll be interesting to see how they welcome Williams back to the stadium he used to play in.
Bluebirds will be out, I bet.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be out. It'll be interesting to see how much he plays. They might just let him get a reception or two in and then kind of let him, let some of those other guys step up just to, avoid tension. I don't know. That's just a guess. But Colleton County, they have a lot of work to do this year. They always have those athletes. They could give anybody a run for their money, but they had to replace their entire defense. So it's going to be tough for them against Fort Dorchester.
Offense is just amazing. I see the Patriots winning pretty big in that one. What else you got?
We'll see. We also have Ashley Ridge is making the long trip to Bowling Springs. That's a team they played in the first round of the playoffs last year, and they knocked Ashley Ridge out of the playoffs. Bowling Springs is just kind of on a streak. At the end of last year, they won 6 of their last 8 games. Got put out by Fort Dorchester in the second round. So they've just got some serious weapons. But we don't want to forget Hakeem Ellington in that game against Cane Bay last week. He had over 100 return yards and 100 receiving yards. So, Ashley Ridge has its weapons. The freshman quarterback in place of Russell Montgomery.
Right.
I don't know who's going to get the start at Bowling Springs, but if it's Duncan, then he's got one game under his belt. He was certainly threw some nice passes in that game against Cane Bay. Looks like he knows the offense. I'd say, though, it's going to be interesting if they dial up the pressure. How is a freshman going to, handle that? Because that's something that Bowling Springs can do. They can put the pressure on you.
Yeah.
And the final game is Pinewood Prep at Northwood Academy. That's going to be kind of an interesting game. I'll let you talk about that in a minute. But I see that game as one that either team can win. Pinewood, went all the way to the finals last year. Lost some key players, but they've got their quarterback back, Jack DeMuzio. He's pretty much a veteran by now.
Yeah.
They have 2 6+ tall receivers, Jalen Slauson and Tatum Rowland. They both have shown great promise this year. Tatum led them in receiving last year, and that's when they had some other receivers to go to. So that's going to be the matchup there, seeing if they can shut down those receivers. And linebacker Connor McSwain anchors that Pinewood defense. He's a serious playmaker in the backfield.
Adding to that before we finish up here, Northwood Academy's offense expects to be explosive this year. The game against Pinewood should be exciting. I know the Chargers quarterback Nolan Litchfield, he looked pretty good in the preseason, and they've got some great weapons to I guess at his disposal. Real quick in closing, if you didn't get a copy of our high school football edition that's already out, make sure you jump on it and get it because it's got a lot of great information. A lot of it provided by Roger Lee, some of it by me, even got a David Shelton story in there. So anyway, week 1 is upon us. We look forward to seeing you out there at these stadiums.
Offense like boom, defense like boom, I squad like boom, I squad like boom, it's like boom, it's like boom.